Good morning, class 5th. This is a chapter number 5th of English first. This is a chapter number 5th of English first. Chapter name A Holiday in Space. A holiday in space means how we spend vacation in space. Okay, let us read in this chapter. And in this chapter, you all know that who is the first man who go into space and etc. things about the space. Now let us read. Now, 40 years after Yuri Gagarin in 1961 became the first man to rocket around the space. Became the first man. Who is the first man? Yuri Gagarin is the first man who go to into space. An American businessman, Dennis Tito, became the world's first space tourist. Who is the first tourist? Dennis Tito. When he blasted off on a trip to the International Space Station, okay, Tito was on board of Russian supply spaceship as a passenger in which Russian supply spaceship. Okay, he's the first passenger. Okay, also on board with him were two cosmonauts. The flight made the 60 years old. The flight made the 60-year-old Titu the 415th person in the space and the first as the space tourist. For this privilege, he had to pay the hefty sum of $20 million. How many rupee? $20 million to the Russians. Is that clear to all? Next para. Before taking off, Tito told journalists that for him it was not just a holiday. It was not just a holiday in space, but the beginning of adventure tourism. It is the beginning of adventure tourism. Okay? He felt that it is not just a holiday. It is an adventure tourism for me. Who says this? Dennis Tito. This is the picture of Dennis Tito and this is the picture of Yuri Gagarin. In fact, holidays in space could become a reality in the not so far away future if planes of new range of space vehicle came through. The first ship going to the space was tourist will perhaps be named SS Enterprise. What is the name of that ship? SS Enterprises. The second SS Voyager. In other words, they will be named after the ships from the famous sci-fi movie Star Trek. Is that clear to all? Now, for close to $200,000, tourists will get a 3 days experience that will include a lot of medical checks. Before any tourist will go to the space, they have to take the medical checks to regular diets. This would ensure that the people get into space without any health problem. If you have any health problem, then you are not able to go in the space. If you are fit, then you are able to go in the space. While beds may be luxury on airlines, they will be essential for journeys into the space. If passengers sit in the upright position, they may pass out while rocketing into the skies because of the force of gravity. What is gravitational force? Which force attract the things to that side? That is gravitational force. Is it clear? The blood won't be forced from their heads to their bodies. Now, next. The only disappointment is that it will not be possible for passengers to bounce around this cabin of zero gravity. Is it clear? They will be attached to their seats with rubber bungees. that will allow them to float in a bit, bit, but will reel them back to their seats after 4 or 5 minutes of weightlessness. Is it clear? All this may shoot a bit like a fairy tale just now, like a fairy tale. Okay, you may think that space tourism is not possible as it will be very expensive. But there was a time when computers were so expensive to operate the only large offices could afford them. And that time computers are very costly, very expensive. We can't afford them. Only large offices were afford them. Today personal computers and laptop are a reality. Is it clear? In any case, people all over the world are very interested in traveling to space themselves. So, space tourism has finally started to gather some momentum. And why not? And why not? It's going to be the quickest way to start using a limitless resources of other planets so solve our problems on earth. Besides, it's going to be fun. Instead of planning a visit to a hill station or the beach resort during your summer vacation, as we plan to go hill station and beach resort in summer vacation, we think that we have to go in space. You will be planning to blast off the red planet Mars. Just imagine. Now you just imagine that you plan for go to the space like Mars, Pluto. Is it clear? In this picture, you just imagine them. They all just imagine them. Then on vacations on moon, that's great. They are thinking this about moon vacations. Okay, this person give special discount about future lines. These are some pictures that we think about in future. Is it clear? Now your chapter is over.